Welcome back, guys, to my UI and interface overview before we start playing Guild Wars 2 Beta. Again, this video is meant for people who really have no prior knowledge or experience in Guild Wars 2. If you know everything about the game inside out and are just looking for some gameplay footage, please go ahead and skip forward to my my gameplay footage videos. But these ones here are really to focus on teaching new users about what it's all about. If you're not in the beta and you kind of want to sink your teeth into Guild Wars 2, well, here we are. I'm on my human character named Govna. Here we are. The game seems to be running fairly well despite the graphic settings being high, although I do see my frame rate, because of the recording, is a little below 30. So if it doesn't hold up well in combat, I may just record at a lower settings. But for now, it's holding up, so let's take a look. This is me logging in for the first time, guys. So let's just take a look at what we see and what it means. So first of all, let's start with the top right. This is your quest log. If you click on it, it opens your quest log, and right now we just have one quest just to start us off, which is defending Shaymore, or talk to Corporal Byrne. When you'll notice when you mouse over the UI element, it will highlight on the bottom right the map where you need to go, which is currently right now right in front of us, and he has a little green icon on his head. The green icon depicts a quest giver who is, I think related to a storyline quest only. The map is down here, which is really cool because you can custom play around with it. I actually kind of like having a bigger map than a smaller map. Maybe not that big, but I would like to take up a little bit of space. So again, the map just shows us vital information. The red is, areas we can't access. As you can see, there's a wall here. And there's some controls, so zoom in, zoom out. Pretty interesting, pretty cool the way it does. It's very, very fluid, as you can see. We have, what's this? This centers us on the quest giver, which is kind of cool. This centers us on our character, and this is the world map. So M is world map, and what's really cool about that, if you notice, when you press it, the camera kind of just zooms out and flips over. Really, really cool effect. And again, here we can zoom out all the way. So the world is freaking huge when you consider everything. This is the zone we're in, the starting zone. World is giant, and as you zoom in more and more, you'll see, as we start here, the more we zoom in, okay, that's as much as I can zoom in for the world map. And you have layers, so you have Tyria upper layer, Tyria surface, and Tyria underground. So I guess there's no underground for this area. Not really sure how that all works. Top left here, we have the completion amount on the zone. So we have 0 of 265 tasks completed, 0 of 480 waypoints, 580 points of interest, and 176 skills. So actually, I don't think that's for the zone. That's actually for the whole map itself. So here we are. Back here. All right, so let's take a look at some UI elements. Let's start with the task, the bar up down here. So as you'll notice, you have 10 skill slots, and what's unique about Guild Wars 2 is that you only ever have 10 slots. It's not one of those games where you're going to end up having to enable top bar, enable right bar, enable left bar, enable bars all over the place. The game really keeps the UI lean, mean, and gives you 10 buttons. Don't let that fool you, though. That doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have a lot of skills to choose from, which is quite the opposite. The way it works is that, first of all, you have your 5 buttons on the left and your 5 buttons on the right. The 5 on the left control your main abilities that are linked to the weapon you use. So in this game, your 5 main combat skills are directly linked to the kind of weapon you use. If you're using a gun, you get skills A, B, C. If you're using a dagger, you get skills D, E, F. And they change depending whenever you change your weapon. You need to unlock the skills as you go along. So as you'll notice here, I only have 1 skill right now. The other 2 are locked. And I have no skills here because I'm currently using a one-handed weapon with no offhand. A two-handed weapon will give you a full 5 set of skills. However, one-handed weapons only give you the first 3, and the offhand is necessary to get the last 2. So yes, even changing your offhand will change your skills. Whether you have for example, a shield or a torch in your hand, you'll have different sets of skills. The 6 button is always your heal. So it's always a self-heal. So there are no healers in this game, as you might have heard. You got to heal yourself. You got to take care of yourself. So this one here allows you to switch between the other heals available. However, you start off with only the one, and you need to unlock the other ones. 7 through 10, or 7 through 780, 7890, are your utility skills. These skills need to be purchased and need to be unlocked. So you can see here at specific levels, like level 5, level 10, 20, and 30, you will unlock the slot. 30 being your elite skill, which is skill 0, which are, you know, I guess super powerful skills. And the other ones being things you can choose from. So these utility skills you can customize, you get to assign them the same way that you assign your heal. There are more than one per slot, and you get to choose the one you think is best based on, you know, the combat situation, combat scenario. As a ranger here, you'll notice that I have a different UI element. I have these, my pet bar, and here's my pet juvenile jungle stalker. Cool thing actually is when you are a ranger, you get to choose what kind of pet you want to have from the get-go. So you have, I think, the choice of a bear, a cat, and I think the last one was I forget. I think it was a snake or something. Anyways, every class has F1, F2, F3, or F4 buttons. If you're a Mesmer, these buttons will directly control your illusions. If you're a Ranger, you control your pet. So every class has its own layer, an additional layer of, you know, uniqueness by which it will control the, you know, unique elements of the class. So here F1 is attack my target. F2 is Mighty Roar, give extreme might to nearby allies. So let's press that. There you go, my kitty roars. And I just got a buff, Might. Increased outgoing damage, stacks intensity. And you can see here it has 3 stacks, I think. And it's wearing out. Perfect, and now it wore off. F3 is Guard. Or you can switch to Avoid Combat. This is the picture. I believe this little switch button here allows me to switch between multiple pets, although I only have the one for now. And this little thing here is my pet management button. So yeah, I can have more than one pet. And these are the abilities of my pet. I have Mighty Roar, Slash, Bite, and Maul. So, you know, pretty standard stuff. I can rename my pet. So let's name him, I don't know, what can we name our cat? Charlie. Whatever. So my cat's name is Charlie. And you can have multiple cats. So you see here, there are other pets you can have. Juvenile Ice Drake, Snow Leopard, Arctodus, not sure what that is, Marsh Drake, Polar Bear, etc., etc. And I'm pretty sure this is something that you unlock as you play the game, or maybe you have to you probably have to tame them as well. As you can tell, I'm not super familiar with all the ways that the game mechanically introduces things to you. I'm pretty familiar with the baseline, but anything beyond that, you might have to check out some forums, or you can always shoot me the question via private message, and I can always see if I can find the answer for you. So now that we've gone over this, let's talk about the chat. So the chat, pretty basic. You have your combat text in your main chat log, basic chat options, something not super interesting, so I'm not going to spend much time on. Let's go through the menus. I think this is one of the most fun things. This is one of the things I do when I first play an MMO, is I like to open all my menus and understand where everything is. I don't like to just start playing. I don't know why. It's just I like to get everything. I want to understand what all my skills do, what all my options are, even though I'm at the beginning and, you know, I probably just want to, I'm itching to get into the action. By the way, I just want to point out that the graphics are phenomenal. I've watched videos of this game before I've played it, and I have to say that the videos do it no justice. You really have to be in here. The weather effects, just everything, it's just unreal. If you're bored watching this kind of a video by now and you want to get into, you know, some action, feel free to skip ahead to my video, which is going to show the gameplay, early starter zone gameplay. 2 things I forgot to mention actually is your health bar, of course, and your double tap evade. So if you, by pressing V, which can be remapped to something else, you do this kind of evasion move. And as you can see, it drains my bar. My bar is it's a semicircle, which has essentially it's 2 small quarter circles, or I guess a third of a circle, or eighth of a circle. And this is something that you can use to avoid attacks, get out of the fire, avoid AoE, whatnot. So let's jump into the menus. First menu is your equipment. So here I am, all your equipment slots, and you will notice you have 2 sets of weapon slots, because by pressing tab, which is locked right now, you will be able to on the fly switch between 2 weapon sets, which will again on the fly switch your abilities. As I've mentioned before, different weapons mean different abilities. So you know, basically what I'm saying is that not only do you have 5 skills, 5 utility skills, and your F1 to F4 skills, by pressing tab you switch your weapon, thus allowing you to have another set of 5 skills. So really, you have up to 15 skills that you can activate while you're playing, in addition to your F buttons, which also you know, are required tactically. So here we are. You have headpiece, shoulders, armor, hands, pants, boots, and then you have 2 weapon slots, which are either, right now I have a dull hatchet, which is I guess an axe with no offhand, or you could have a 2-hander. The toggle die mode lets you change the color of your gear on the fly. As you can see, this is stuff I've colored through the character creation. So yes, what that basically means is that at any point in the game, you can change the color of your gear. It's that easy, that cool. Currently wearing armor, and there's toggle to town clothes. So yes, the game basically, if I close it off here, allows me to switch my gear with one press of a button from combat armor to town clothes. Really cool feature. Not an RPer myself, but if you are, this is a really, really neat thing to just, you know, have in the game. You know, my name, my character, my stats, so charisma, dignity, and ferocity. If you recall, when we created our character, we had to choose one. I chose charisma for this character, since I wanted him to be kind of a playoff of Jason Statham. But, which is, I don't know, arguably ferocity and charisma should probably be pretty equal. I imagine, and, well, not I imagine, I know when you make choice in the game, you make choices based on these skills and based on these attributes, and depending where you do it, it's kind of like the light and dark system in Star Wars. You get points, and your characteristics increase, and you get different options or different things presented to you based on, you know, what characteristics your character represents. Attributes. This game has really, and I don't want to use the word dumbed down, because a lot of people think that just because you don't have 5,000 stats to play around with, that your game is for babies and it's stupid. That's completely false. That's completely inaccurate. There are 4 main attributes in this game: power, precision, toughness, and vitality. However, don't let that fool you. There are other sub-stats that are important for different things. I don't want to get into it right now because I don't want to overwhelm anyone with a list, but there are you know, an important amount of attributes or characteristics that will affect the way you do damage and the way you play the game. Quickly, power increases your critical hit chance. Power increases your attack. Precision increases your crit. Toughness is your defense, and vitality is your maximum health. You also have here attack, and under attack you have power, weapon damage, and condition damage. You have critical chance and critical damage. You have armor, you have toughness and defense, and you have healing, power, and health. So there are sub-stats within each stat. In addition to the main armor slots, you have a back piece, 2 trinkets, you have an amulet, and 2 rings, as well as foraging, logging, and mining. So yes, you can have one of each at the same time, and you can do all of them without having to switch. So back in the day, for example, World of Warcraft, you had to equip your mining axe if you wanted to mine. That's not currently the case in WoW anymore, nor is it the case here. As long as you have one of the 3 or all 3 in your bag, you can gather and mine whatever you want. You don't have to learn it as a skill like other MMOs. It's just something that any character can do. So now that we've kind of, you know, gone over this. By the way, if you're wondering what this big empty square here, if I had stuff in my bag, so B is for bags. Nope, B is not for bags. I have to find out what the bag button is. I bet I for inventory. If I had stuff in my bags here that I could equip, it would show up here. So it's nice because, I mean, instead of having to open 2 UI elements to equip my gear, I just need the one open, and it will show me all my gear here while filtering through all the crap in my bags. Really, really little things, little touches like this that go a long way in creating a really cohesive experience. Let's switch here to skills and traits. So we have 3 things here. We have weapon skills, we have slot skills, and we have traits, which I can't show you until level 11, unfortunately. Weapon skills are all the possible weapon skills we have in the game. So remember when I told you you have 5 things here and they're based on your weapon? Well, this is each weapon that you can equip and what the possible skills are. So again, without going over each one individually, you, for example, have sword, longbow, short bow, axe, dagger, greatsword, okay? And you have offhands such as a torch, a war horn, and you have you also have the spear and the harpoon gun, which is for the water combat, which I will get into later. So again, a sword has 3 abilities. Why? Because it's a one-handed weapon. So a sword would need to be combined with an offhand such as a dagger, or an offhand such as a torch to get a full 5 skills. Some weapons can be used as both offhand and main hand. So an axe, for example, can be main hand or offhand. So imagine holding it in either hand. Whereas some weapons are two-handed, meaning that they grant you the full 5 skills. So I could have, for example, a sword as a main hand weapon with an axe and offhand, but I couldn't do the opposite. I couldn't have an axe as main hand. I could have an axe as main hand, but a sword wouldn't work as an offhand, because you can see here it has no offhand skills. Pretty straightforward stuff. Slot skills, as shown before, are the ones that go through 6 through 0, the ones that are considered utility skills. So you have your healing skill, which you have 4 of, and as you can see here, you have 1 unlocked to begin with. The next ones cost trait points to unlock. So to unlock, I need 1 trait point to unlock this one, which is called Troll Unguent or something like that. There's this one here, Healing Spring, and there's Prayer to Duanya, which is my deity in this case. These skill points you unlock by meeting characters and completing quests in the world, and then you can spend them to unlock skills. Again here, slot 7, 8, 9, you have different utility skills. Any of these skills here that you see in this menu can be equipped to 7, 8, or 9. However, they're gated, so you can't purchase any of these ones until level 5. You can't purchase any of these ones here until you've unlocked this skill tier, and then subsequently this final skill tier, which is the last skill tier, you have to unlock as well. What that means is that these last skills here are generally a little more powerful, at least have maybe more complex abilities, and what they want to do is they want to make sure that you don't just equip these or unlock these right away first thing you can in the game and then ignore the rest. I think this is really meant to give you a sense of progression. And this is something of a new change that they did in the game. Previously, you were able to pick any skill at any level, and there was no real tier system. Finally, we have the elite skills, which again have 2 tiers. And again, the elite, you need to unlock at level 30, and you only have 1 slot for this. So it's a really unique ability, something really cool. These are the unspent points and the unspent trait points. I can't show you traits, but essentially traits is kind of like a talent system where you dump points into a tree. There are I believe 5 trees per race, or per class, and by putting points in the tree, you get passive bonuses automatically. So if I put 1 point into, I don't know, my fire tree as an elementalist, well, I might get 1% more damage to my fire skills. And if you spend 10 at every interval of 10, 20, 30, you can unlock a passive bonus. So something like, think of like a talent in WoW where, if I use this ability, then, I don't know, I can apply a dot or apply a condition, as they call it in this game, on my enemy. So that's something we can get into a little bit later on. My story here is just your quest. No crafting discipline learned, so I can't show you that yet. And our achievements, which I don't want to spend much time on, but as you get the idea, fairly straightforward like any other game. What's cool in this MMO in particular is that there are daily and monthly achievements. These are achievements that every day I log in, if I kill 10 mobs, I will get 1 point for this tier. I will get 1 achievement unlocked. Daily kill variety, kill 5 types of enemies, gather 3 things, do 1 event. So, and these are like the level 1, tier 1 of 3. So after kill 10, it's kill 50. After kill 50, it's kill 1,000. I don't know. This is just to to give you a sense of progression and a sense of accomplishment, even if you just log in for that 1 play session. We have monthly ones as well, which are related to World vs. World, event participation, and even gaining XP in general. The one here really cool, if you get 25,000 XP without death in a month, you get an achievement. Slayer are kill related, Hero are quest related and world create related, PvP, crafting, exploration, fashion, so just gear related, weaponry related, community related, which is a really cool one, and Hall of Monuments come from Guild Wars 1. So I unfortunately will have none of these because I did not really play Guild Wars 1. Alright guys, one thing I forgot to mention was the underwater. So as you might have noticed on the hero page, there's another set of equipment here, which is your underwater weapon. So this game here, about 30% of the time, as said by ArenaNet, will be spent doing underwater things. Underwater combat, underwater exploration. So usually in MMOs when you're underwater, you just use your regular skills underwater. However, ArenaNet took it one step further, and what they did is they created a whole new set of skills which were relevant to water, you know, to being underwater, and those are the skills you use if you're submerged. So, for example, when you're underwater, you can choose a spear or a harpoon gun. And the abilities you use, such as Coral Shot, Feeding Frenzy, Mercy Shot, Ink Blast, these are all water-themed, water-inspired. They make sense underwater. It's not like you're shooting a fireball underwater. You know, you're doing stuff that makes sense, and it's fun because it gives you a really completely different gameplay experience. You're not just, you know, playing the regular game underwater. You're using unique skills, exploring unique environments. It's almost like two completely separate games. So we have the inventory, you know, your bags, really straightforward. Currency and karma. Karma is a form of currency used in Guild Wars 2. So when you complete quests, not only do you get money and XP, you also get karma. Karma is basically, you know, what you think it is. Karma. It's good. It's points done for doing good things. And essentially, what you're doing with these is that you are going to spend them later on with some certain vendors to, you know, unlock things, buy things, you know, whatever you can. We also have here the contact list, friends, search for friends, looking for group, and all that good stuff. We have the mail, which is... What's interesting about this game is that a lot of the quest rewards you get will be sent to you by mail. So if you complete a quest and you get a piece of armor, they'll just send it to you by mail. You can send mail and receive mail from anywhere in the world, so you don't have to be at a mailbox. And the way this is, if you want to understand how it works out from a flavor perspective, is that you have a courier pigeon, basically. So that's pretty interesting. Black Lion Trading Company is the cash shop. Now, I will not talk about the cash shop, but I will do a full video on it at some point during the beta. I will go through all the different tabs and we'll talk about all the different elements you can unlock and what the implications are. Guild tab here. I'm currently not part of a guild, so I will not be able to show this off quite yet. I will try to get into a guild or create my own guild so I can show off this menu to you. We have the hints, which is really just a tutorial. Kind of just shows you. It's interesting. It's well done. It's very visual as well, so if you want to come back to this at any point or refer to it, it's fairly straightforward. Your game menu, and you have your file a bug. So since we're in beta, I can file any bugs, and I can send that off to ArenaNet. All right. So now that we've, we finished talking about that, let us start playing.